Bingo! Good morning, welcome to Ag Talking Raw, where I talk raw about agriculture and other things that are on my mind. There's a couple of things on my mind, and today, I kind of want to be a bit more serious today than I was the last couple of videos on here, which I'm generally pretty upbeat and happy about stuff, but today, not quite so much because it's getting old. Some things are getting quite old. Well, the fun thing that has happened is if you watch One Lonely Farmer, you'll see today that I'm done picking corn on the home farm. Now, the home farm was about 53 acres. 53 acres. 17% corn was about what we averaged. I had some that was 16.2, some that was 18.1. So we'll just call that 17%, even though it's 16.9. So, but 17% moisture corn. Yesterday we ripped through it. Dryer was running 2,000 bushels an hour, and we were just like raging monkey bulls. It was working really, really well. So we got the farm done, and we averaged over 220 bushels to the acre on that 55 acre farm. So you're looking at 220 plus bushels to the acre, somewhere's in there. There's over 12,000 bushels in that 23,000 bushel bin that I took about 1,000. I'd say 22,000 bushels. So 11 to 12. It's over halfway full. I'm going to double, triple check it today. I have to put before I go to the next farm that has 100 acres on it. So I thought I had more corn planted than I actually did, but I was about 50 acres shy of what my goal was this year, which is fine. I'm okay with it. I really didn't. I'm not a grain farmer anymore. I grow mostly hay, and I do custom work. But anyway, the corn looks awesome too. If you look at the videos that I'm going to be posting, it was probably the most consistent crop that I've ever had in my life, as far as the fields are concerned. There are fields on the home farm that have wet spots in them, that have poor spots in them. That's just the way most fields are. If you watch these guys with the fancy combines and yield loss. Well, I have a yield loss monitor, but I don't have, and it's not working for some reason. I don't know why. But a yield monitor, and it'll tell you, oh wow, you're going, you're pulling 290 bushels to the acre here, and then you're pulling 170 bushels as well. 50 feet up away from where you got 290. So I'm gonna perk up here pretty quick because that coffee's pretty strong. But anyway, I don't have that. What I have is a grain bin. I have a combine that holds 240 bushels, and I have gravity flow boxes which hold about 380 bushels full, not over full. When you overfull them, they'll go to 390, 390, 395, not 400. I've never gotten 400 bushels in one. Test weight on the corn is perfect. It's right where it's supposed to be. It's at 57, 58. So makes a big deal when you go to sell it. And the less you have to dry it, the higher the test weight, if y'all didn't know that. So at 17%, when you're pulling 1.5, 2 points out, and I'm pulling 3 points out, I'm getting down to about 14.5% moisture because I live next to the Delaware River, and when you run the fans, it'll pull moisture and send it back up in there. But whatever, it is going to be a good year for me as far as the grain crop is concerned. I'm looking at a picture of it right here on the side of my computer, and I'm just like, man, those kernels are just like freaking 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch long. They're huge, which is beautiful. To me, they're beautiful. I get excited every time I look at that corn. I just like, man, I've grown a lot of shitty corn in my life, but this stuff is second to none the best. And I do have some comments that I would like to address here. So one of the comments was, why does this idiot spend all that money on a grain bin that only holds like 20,000 bushels? Well, it's $1 a bushel for what I put into the bin. $1 a bushel. Yeah, it costs more than that to build a brand new one that size by about one third. Yeah, it's about one third the price. I got a little over $20,000 into this bin. $20,000 over. I don't know why I'm coughing here. 20,000 bushels over the course. So just say 10 years. The usable life of this bin was 40. Just say 40 years. 38, 40 years. That's what we had. That's what we ran it. So now that it's new on the bottom and new on the top, it's got a new auger and everything up there. I'm quite pleased, and I fear that it will last. I feel that it will last me the rest of my career as a farmer, and hopefully into the careers of my children or my nephews, not my cousins, but my nephews. And that's my hopes and dreams. So to answer that question, is $20,000 over, say, 20 more years of my lifetime of using it. That will equal to pennies a year. And yes, there will be some maintenance, like fan maintenance and other silly things like that. And you do have to maintain the fans because they go bad. Put all new wiring on it, so she's gorgeous now. It's even got a new plug for the sweep. So when I throw the sweep in there, I just plug it in and bada bing, bada boom, she's off to go. So there's your sign. Yeah, so that's what's going on there. Now, we won't start the shredding process because the ground is a little bit wet, but we will be shredding and baling in probably 3 or 4 days. I want to do it on a very sunny day because I want this stuff to be very dry because it's going to the dairy industry up in New York. That's where the corn fodder's going, so I'm pretty happy that I have sold it for that. And somebody can make good use of it, and believe me, there's going to be a lot of fodder. So that's what's going to happen there. So today I'm going to empty the dryer completely out, check it. I do have a pressure sensor for the fan that is not functioning correctly. That needs to get fixed. So I'm going to take that apart and I'm going to test it, make sure that the son of a bitch is working. It should work. It's just I think there's some rust or corrosion or something in it that needs to be addressed. And I don't think it's rust or corrosion. I think it's rust and corrosion on the contact points for the electronics. So I should be able to take it apart, a little bit of heat, and pull them screws out of there, and voila, we should get it off and get it fixed. So, and that'll make the dryer boys a little more attentive to what's going on, because I'm running the combine and I have, Cody, Tim, and Grant are alternating what they're doing there on the farm. Watching that dryer, making sure that it is functioning correctly to get that corn up in the bin so that it's dry, not too wet. So that's working. And now we're going to talk about the sensitive subject, of obviously the election, which is on everybody's mind. I have not voted yet. It's something that we're going to do today. Here in New Jersey, we have no open polls. We won't be. We're not able to go to the polls. Our lovely governor, ferret face Phil Murphy, has shut down the polls. He says it's too dangerous for us to go and vote because of the COVID thing. Now, I don't agree with that. I think if we can go to McDonald's, or if we go inside, or if we can go to the grocery store, Walmart, Target, any of these chains, outlets, and things like that, we should be allowed to go to polling place. We have 6-foot spacings in Home Depot. I've been there several times in the last week getting parts and pieces for this dryer system. And I haven't gotten COVID. I stay 6 feet plus, probably more than 6 feet away from anybody else that's there. And don't talk to anybody close. Don't touch anybody. When I get back in my truck, I use hand sanitizers, and I do wear this stupid mask. And I sanitize right around here when I get back in the truck. I just take that alcohol like that. Yeah, just because I don't want to get COVID-19. I don't think that I would die from it. I just don't want to give it to my mom and my dad and my aunts and my wife and my kids and my mother-in-law and anybody that I would come into contact, my nephews, my son. I just don't want to give it to anybody. So Anyway, so I'm going to vote today. Now, voting for the current president today is what I'm going to do, and I generally, I'm pretty vocal on here, but at home, if you watch my channel, you know that I'm going to vote for Donald Trump, and I'm not going to vote for any Democrat. I've read the thing, the thing that comes in the mail that says, oh, this is what we're about. I've watched the commercials, and I don't care about the commercials on TV because I'm pretty well convinced that 99% of those, including the president's, are 99% of those are riddled with falsehoods. Now, I've said some things and backpedaled on some things in my life online in the last 12 years of this job, this business that I'm in, because I've been on here now for 12 years. Some of you from the beginning have watched OLF on here. And I understand that people say things and then turn around and say, well, that's not really what I meant. Or I've aged and matured and now I don't believe that anymore, or I've educated myself and that's not the case. And I understand that, and I understand that Joe Biden and both Joe Biden and Donald Trump have the same mindset when it comes to that. I mean, what I thought 10 years ago is not what I think today. What Donald Trump thought 10 years ago is not what he thinks today. Same thing with Joe Biden. Joe Biden doesn't think. So there's just, there's just a whole ball of wax right there. But locally, I farm a lot of ground, and I'm close enough to New York City and Philadelphia and Easton, and people that became successful in the cities have moved out to the country, and they just want to see beautiful land being farmed, and they buy it. They buy it. And I know I've expressed this before. One property owner threw me off because I didn't vote for Barack Obama. Now, if it was Barack Obama on the ticket today instead of Joe Biden, I didn't really care that Barack Obama was the president too much. I wasn't happy about it because I don't think that I don't think he did right by the country. I think he did right by himself and his family and close friends. Because, if you look at Barack Obama, who, when he was just a senator for Chicago in the Chicago district, he drove a Chrysler 300. Chrysler 300, $40,000-$50,000 car, I think, when fully loaded. They're not really an expensive car. Lived in a modest house and was just a modest guy who served his country. He becomes the president, and now he's got a multi-million dollar home on Martha's Vineyard. Multi-millions. Well, if you didn't know, the president only gets $450,000 a year to do this job that is so stressful on him and his wife and the whole family. I mean, it's got to be unsurmountable stress, And then just look at Donald Trump flying around the whole world in an airplane, comes back, does a rally, and I love the rallies. I think they're great. You listen to him, and he does toss the same shit in there over and over and over again. But he does throw in today's topics, like we're going to lower your taxes. We have lowered your taxes and things. Well, I look at his track record, and Donald Trump stood up in 2016 or 2017 when he was inaugurated, and he said, hey, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do exactly what I said I was going to do. And I'm going to do all the things I said I was going to do. And it was like, really? Okay, let's see this shit show. As you know, Washington turns quite slowly. But unbelievably, the president did what he said he was going to do. He really, truly did. Healthcare, he wants to repeal and replace Obamacare. And I know there's a lot of people that are like, oh my God, he's going to destroy the healthcare system in the country. Well, I remember when Obama destroyed the healthcare system in this country. And the same people, that had their healthcare destroyed by Obama and Joe Biden are now saying that, this is horrible. Obamacare is the best thing since sliced bread. Well, it's not. You're looking at a person right here, right in front of you on your computer or telephone or iPad or tablet or whatever you have that lost his health care because of President Obama and Vice President Joe Biden. I was paying somewhere around $4,700 a year for health care on me and my family. My 3 kids at the time, Haley, Joe, Tim. Okay? When Obamacare came in, and I wasn't going to sign up for it, I was like, I'm not signing up for this. And the healthcare, the insurance agent was like, this policy that you have is going to disappear when the Affordable Care Act is kicked in. I was like, well, okay, how much do I owe you? I got the bill, because I was concerned about it. I didn't really want to change I had a decent health plan. It was a decent health plan, but I had a very high deductible. There's people out there like, oh my God, I got to pay $250 for this deductible for healthcare. Well, that's a year. Okay. So I had a $2,500 deductible. I'm okay with spending $2,500 if my leg is ripped off and I need to sew it back on or cut it the rest of the way off and put a prosthetic there. I'm okay with $2,500. I'm okay with $2,500 because I had 3 kids. The 3 kids were minors at the time. If they fell down the stairs and broke their arm and they required surgery, I'm okay with $2,500. Give me the $2,500 deductible. I may or may not ever use that $2,500. So every year for like 10 years on that policy, I never met the $2,500 deductible. I always had to pay out of pocket. So I was like, well, okay, let's see what happens. So I wait and I see what happens, and I let the policy lapse. All right. So the Affordable Care Act was enacted, and Congress, Congress. Nancy Pelosi stands up there and says, "Well, you're just going to have to read it when we pass it, because we're not going to release what's in it." So blindly, the demon rats put it through. And then promptly exempted themselves from it. Yeah. So when the people that passed it and put it into law exempted themselves from it, doesn't that tell you something? So thankfully, and this is one of the accomplishments of Donald Trump, thankfully the individual mandate was removed. Now, if you don't know what the individual mandate is, that's for people who did not get the insurance. Me, one of those people. I didn't get the insurance. The reason I didn't get the insurance was because they took my income on the whole and they did expenses, my expenses. And by the time it was done, they brought it down to, it goes off of your income, what you had to pay for Obamacare. So I was like, are you kidding me? They're going to tax me on my income again? This is just another form of income tax. But they left out the depreciations of my equipment and other things that I have. The equipment and other depreciable things. So the bill comes, the quote comes $18,643. It's like $18,643. Why do I remember that? Because it was so ludicrous. It was so ludicrous that this number was that high for health insurance for me, Haley, Joe, and Tim. I wasn't married, I didn't have another person to insure. It was just the 4 of us. $18,643. I said, fuck that. The fine can't be that high. And they're like, well, there is. The fine is whatever your return would be. I was like, oh, what do you mean the return? Well, if you pay income taxes and then there's a you get money back for paying too much in, then, they don't give it back to you. You pay that. I was like, so if I estimate that my tax return or my taxes are going to be, let's just say $3,000 or $5,000 or whatever. They want you to put money into the government quarterly if you didn't know. So if I decide that I'm going to take $5,000 and I put it into into the government, and then I have a failure, like a tractor blows its engine and it costs me $15,000 to put it in there, and then that brings my tax return to the level, because I'll depreciate that off, obviously, or I'll expense it, one or the other. That brings it to the point where I get my $5,000 back. They're not going to give me the $5,000? No, they're not going to give you the $5,000. It's theirs. That's the penalty. So I was like, get the hell out of here. I said, so, all right. So if I owe $5,000 to the government at the end of the year on April 15th when it's due, what's the penalty for paying late? She's like, I don't know, maybe $150. I'm like, I'll do that. Oh, what would the deductible be on the $18,643 policy that I'd been forced to take? Oh, $2,500. So I'm going to pay $18,643 for a policy that I still have to have a $2,500 deductible on. You mean to tell me that I actually have a deductible that I'm going to have to pay? Yes, $2,500. If you want the lower deductible, it gets very expensive. It would have been over $30,000 for a $500 deductible. So for those of you that are out there paying higher premium for the policy on a $250 to $500 deductible, you're an idiot. It's costing you double for the whole entire policy than it is to have a $2,500 deductible. You got to do some research there. So when I go to the poll on my kitchen table here a little later today, and I choose to mark Donald J. Trump for president, I'm going to think about that, because now I will be able to, pay quarterly if I want to. I don't think I'm going to anyway, because I just don't give a fuck. I'm just going to, I'm going to mark Donald J. Trump, because I know that we're not in some foreign war killing a bunch of people that never did anything to me. I know that the individual mandate was removed. I know that there is a new healthcare coming down the line. I know that prescription drugs and people that took insulin that were paying $800 a month for their insulin so that they could live. $800 with some of this stuff. EpiPens. If I get stung by a bee and I don't have, not a bee, by a wasp or a hornet, I don't think a honeybee bothers me. I don't know. I haven't been ever stung by a honeybee oh yeah, I got stung by a honeybee down in North Carolina, and I got a little loopy, but nothing terrible happened. So I didn't even take the Benadryl. I was just like, well, whatever, it's just a honeybee. And I did feel a little funny, but I'm okay. I was okay. Anyway, yeah. I know that what is happening in this country is positive. I know that there are more people at work. There are more jobs that were created, even after the stupid pandemic that China let in. China. You see, CNN, ABC, CNBC, ABC, any of those mainstream media, television news networks do not tell you that China shut down travel within its country pretty much immediately after the COVID-19 thing, or the novel coronavirus hit them. What they didn't do was shut down international travel. See, these assholes really wanted to stick it to the United States and the rest of the world economy because of what Donald Trump was doing. It's really terrible when you look at a bottle of, say, aspirin, and it's made in China. It's like, how can aspirin be made in China? I mean, it's the cheapest shit you can make. Now, this is more expensive because it's Bayer and it's buffered aspirin made in China. These glasses that I just purchased, they're titanium. They're supposed to be tougher than nails. I don't want to do anything with them because they cost me $500 freaking dollars. But in the fine print, right here along the edge of this thing, these little titanium wireframe glasses, and titanium comes from which country? Oh yeah, Russia. United States people in the United States could make these glasses frames right here, and it took me 5 weeks to get these glasses. Oh, I wonder why. Because they're made in China. China. Glasses, things as simple as glasses, reading glasses. There's nothing special about them. these lovely GoPro cameras that I hate so dearly, that everybody loves the quality of. Where's that thing made? Oh, you guessed it, China. So when China's making everything, they've got a chokehold on the nuts of the world, you know. They're like dangling your dingleberries inside of a vice, and they're every other day, they're tightening it up tighter and tighter and tighter. You know there's something wrong because you've got this incredible pain in your groin area, but you're not quite sure what it is. And then you see the Joe and Hunter Biden trips to China and the emails that are coming out or have come out, and the fact that mainstream media is like, oh, they're unsubstantiated. The best they can come up with is that Donald Trump had paid $750 on his tax return, which is the same stupid tax return that they released back in 2015 to try to keep him from winning the election anyway. And it wasn't even a tax return, and it was illegal. And they said it was unsubstantiated that Hunter Biden's computer was in the hands of Rudy Giuliani and the FBI. So they're not denying that it was Hunter Biden's. They're just saying, "Oh, we haven't seen it personally, so we don't know." You know, well, guess what? It happened. The photographs and the shocking revelations in the emails that were with an IP address that belongs to, you guessed it, Mr. Hunter Biden on a computer that said Beau Biden. Okay, enough of that. I don't care for the Bidens. I think they're crooked. I think that we're in this China mess in the COVID-19 mess because Hillary Clinton didn't win the election. Because, they're all in bed together. It's just this great big circle jerk of the Democrat Party. And I'm sorry to say, I'll probably lose property over this thing because there's going to be some people that have the attention span longer than a gnat, that I farm their land, and they're going to be like, oh my God, this guy's a Republican conservative, and we can't have him there anymore, because it has happened in the past, and it's probably going to happen again. There is one thing that Donald Trump and the Bidens and the Clintons and the mainstream media have been very successful at doing, and that is calling the president a racist, a xenophobe, and bad for the country, and getting it plastered all over the propaganda machine known as ABC, CBS, CNN, NBC, MSNBC, all of those mainstream media outlets. And they've got that propaganda machine just like Adolf Hitler did back in the 1930s. And they've got the whole Democrat Party thinking that Donald Trump has done nothing but fuck a hooker or stripper, porn star. He has done nothing in his office, and he contaminated the entire United States with COVID-19. Not the fact that people are tired of being cooped up and they're going to stores, they're going to have parties, they're going to picnics, they're doing all this stuff, and they're infecting themselves. They got a personal invitation from the President of the United States of America to go do these things because it's a hoax. Well, let's put it this way. Heart disease kills more people in the United States every year than COVID-19 ever did. Now, COVID-19 is not something you want to contract. We all understand. We all get that. We all understand that. But it is not a reason to shut down the country. Our government's job, if you did not know, is to govern us. It isn't to control us. It isn't to dictate to us. That is a dictatorship. But our government, our democracy, our democratic republic, they are supposed to say, hey, people, yeah, we got your attention here. There's a thing called COVID-19, and it could kill you, especially if you've got diabetes, heart disease, lung disease, if you've got pulmonary problems, which is your lungs, and if you have anything that is underlying problems, it could kill you. So there are some precautions that we would like to post here on the government board. We will be posting commercials on TV, internet, and cellular devices through Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and all those other accounts saying what you should do to stay safe from the pandemic. And I hope you do this, because if you don't, you could probably get sick and possibly die. Even though it is a 99.6% success rate that you will not die, that you will just get it, become immune, and never get it again. All right, so there you go. So ladies and gentlemen, here's the list of safety precautions. And it's done. It's done. It should be a personal choice of the citizens of the United States to actually read, understand, and implement the governance of our government, the guidelines in which we should we should be living, okay, until the pandemic is over. Now, it's going to dilute out. I feel it in my bones. It's going to be just like the flu. It's going to be every year we're going to get a new coronavirus vaccine, or the coronavirus that was made by China will weaken. I have heard on several different outlets that this thing is morphing into a less deadly, less problematic form of coronavirus. So we'll get the headache, we'll get the runny nose, we'll get the shits, and then we'll get over it. And that's how it'll go. And then it'll just be just like coronavirus has been for ever until this point. It's a man-made coronavirus. We all know that. China released it into its population. Whether it was on purpose or by accident, we'll never know. But we do know that China let it loose on the world. And they knew what they were doing because Donald J. Trump has put a chokehold on their world dominance scheme. Yes, they're buying corn and soybeans. And, as a farmer, I know firsthand that when Donald Trump put the first tariffs on the farmers, grain going to China, they don't care if they starve their people. They really don't. They don't give a flying fuck because it's the Chinese Communist Party. The Chinese Communist Party, they only care about themselves. They don't care about the people that they're supposed to be governing. They control them. They dictate to them. They make them do what they say they're going to do. And then they abuse them. They pollute the water that they drink. They pollute the air they breathe to the point where Japan is freaking out because Japan, Taiwan, Japan, Taiwan, they're freaking out because all that pollution, and the Philippines, obviously, they're freaking out because all that pollution is coming across the water. They're not really that far away. All that pollution is coming across the water and it's polluting their clean air. So, and this bullshit of, climate change, and the United States is going to change the climate by, attacks or wind turbines or batteries. We mine lithium in Afghanistan. That's why we fought the war. The propellers for wind turbines, that is carbon fiber and resin, and it takes fuel oil and other chemicals to produce these things. There's no such thing as a completely clean energy for, a pollution-free energy source. Wind is pretty close. Now, the wind blows pretty much all the time at a certain altitude, and that's what those windmills are for. Solar arrays, perfectly good way to waste a lot of farmland because these assholes, they don't want to put them on rooftops. That would be too smart. We just want to take farmers' fields, take crops out of production so we can plaster wind solar arrays out through the whole thing. A wind turbine takes like a small square, to erect, and you can still farm around it, and it will take a fair amount of farmland away if you add them all up. But for the most part, those things can be put on mountaintop ridges. They can be ridges, not bridges. They can be put on top of, stadiums and things. I've seen them. Down in Philadelphia had them as well. China is a major polluter. There's more pollution coming out of China than anybody's got any idea. And it's not the friendly kind of pollution like exhaust from your car. And that's not friendly pollution. It's pollution no matter what. This is toxic chemicals from industry. They do not have scrubbers. They do not collect it. They just say, oh, we need to get rid of this, so send it up that industrial chimney. It's 150, 250 feet up. It won't land for at least 4 or 5 miles. And then 4 or 5 miles away, you get birth defects and cancer and cataracts and unnamed and unknown diseases, death that happens for no reason, crops that die because the particles per million, ppms in the soil become saturated to the point where nothing can grow. And that's what happens. So if you fall for the climate change here in the United States is going to make a difference in the world, you really have to throttle China and other countries. Russia's not exactly a clean air country either. The Philippines is since 2013, the first time I went to the Philippines, till today, they have come a long way with their pollution. It is a much nicer place to be, downtown Manila today, than it was in 2013. Yeah, I mean, to the point where if you were in the Philippines in 2013 and you blew your nose, you'd blow black boogers, because that's carbon, man. It was fuel, unburnt raw fuel, diesel exhaust, and it was just terrible. But, today you go down there and it's like, wow, I don't even have a headache going through Manila. It's crazy. So, anyway, I guess we just kind of sat and had a nice chat today. This is probably more of a podcast kind of a format, even though I never have guests. I just talk to myself talking to you. But it's just the way it is. I hope you enjoyed it anyway. But get out and vote. If you're going to vote for Biden, go ahead, vote for Biden. I don't care who you vote for, because, and this is the crazy difference between the Conservative Party and whatever party the Democrat Party has turned into. If you're an independent, you're more conservative, or if you're a libertarian, you're more conservative than the Democrat Party ever could be. Today's Democrat Party. Years ago, it wasn't that way, but today it is. Go out and vote. Vote for who you feel will do the best job. I look at Joe Biden and I see 47 years of, I don't know what he did, good, positive. I mean, we know what he's done recently, and it's going to come out even more and more as the days go by. But let's agree to disagree. If you vote for Joe Biden and I vote for Donald Trump, just still be friends with me. I mean, maybe our political views don't align. It's very difficult to have a conversation with somebody who is so dead set on hating a person so bad that they're willing to sever lifelong friendships and business partnerships, or just become so mean and nasty that you can't be in the same room together. And that's not what this country's about. It never was, this politically charged, and well, it is. We are politically charged right now. There are people that think that Donald Trump is the death of the world, but if you look at it and you look around on the world stage, he's not a clown. I don't feel that he's a clown on the world stage. As a matter of fact, I know there's a lot of people across the pond that are like, wow, there's good things happening in the world. Even at home here, agriculture took a hit. I will never receive $1 from the government, because I just don't deal with the government anymore. I got sick and tired of dealing with the bullshit. When Obama became president, he changed. Then they finally got the Farm Bill passed in 2012 after George Bush's 8 years of George Bush's Farm Bill from 2006. I think by 2012, 6 years, 6 to 12. I think it was 12. Whatever. It was a long time we were running on Bush's Farm Bill. When Obama decided to actually get up in the morning and go to work, he passed a farm bill that made it so incredibly complicated to go down to that government office and actually sign up your crops. It used to be simple. Oh, you farm this place? Yeah. What do you got there? Corn. Okay, see you later. Done. Oh, you farm this place? You farm this place? You farm this place? What do you got there? I got hay here. I got beans there. I got wheat there. I got corn over there. Oh, okay. Have a nice day. What is your intention with the wheat? What day did you plant it? The crop insurance will need this, that, and the other thing. You're going to need a signature from the property owner stating that you actually planted the wheat and that you are farming their ground. I mean, just incredible stupidity. Farmers don't have that kind of time to sit down in an office for days, literally days. I would go in there for 3-4 hours for a week's time. Got this, got that, got the other thing. Schedule another thing. Got this, got that, got the other thing. We don't have time for that shit. This is what I farm. This is what I got on it. And this is what I need to do. See ya. And now it's just so complicated I won't go in there. But anyways, when Donald Trump put the tariffs on China, pricing, it fell. And as a farmer, of course that hurt. But the nice thing was that the majority of farmers that actually go in and deal with the bullshit of the federal government, they're getting money. They're going to get money. They're going to get money to buy new equipment or pay down debt that we would normally get if we sold the crop. China should be paying their fair share anyway. Now, I don't know what's going to happen. I know if Joe Biden gets in, the COVID thing is going to disappear quicker than, the turd down the toilet. And China will not be held accountable for it, and it'll be status quo, back to what it was. The tariffs will be lifted, the taxes will go. See, when you tariff these countries, and they're tariffing us as well, it doesn't, it's just money coming either way. But, they pull these tariffs, they're going to tax us into oblivion to the point where stagnation. Obama and Biden were the stagnant 8 years of GDP, of growth. $400 GDP, gross annual income for most working families in those 8 years. $400, it's $50 a year. People, average income came up $50 a year. Now, farmers enjoyed higher pricing during the Obama administration. That is true. But we also endured higher fertilizer prices, higher chemical prices, because we weren't getting that stuff made here in the United States. It was very expensive. I mean, potash per ton, almost $900 a ton for potash. It's down now about a third of that. That's about what it is now. So the input cost, diesel fuel, $5 a gallon, $4 for off-road, but $5 a gallon for on-road fuel. That gets mighty damned expensive to run. So now we're down around, $2, $2.50 for a gallon of diesel fuel. Come on, man. So if you look at the inputs, it doesn't matter what we got for our grain. What it costs to grow that crop was less than what we're getting today. So anyways, I'll leave you with that at 42 minutes. Jesus, Pete, I'll probably never even get this up. But anyways, enjoy your day.